TikTok has become an enormous vehicle for evergreen content from streams, VOD clips, etc. Streams on demand on YouTube to be able to catch up and recap on an esports event. There's a lot of triggers to these campaigns. I know there's always kind of a debate. Streamers themselves don't always like to post tweets ahead of going live because they don't think it increases viewership. It does. Please do that. But Twitter, I think, is a very unique platform. I don't know any other platform that has the ability to like, hey, I'm letting my gaming audience know I'm going live. I think that's a one-of-a-kind vehicle for this ecosystem. What streaming does, and I think we've talked about this a lot, is fosters FOMO. You're riding kind of the hype train. There's kind of a level of exclusivity to it. And then also there's just all of this kind of clutch moment gameplay that you're having all of the time. How, Lewis, do you kind of see the landscape as a whole?
Yeah, I think as a creator, you want to take advantage of every single platform that you have. And there's a couple different things you can do. TikTok is fantastic for reach and audience building, terrible for monetization. I know they're trying to figure that out, but TikTok is a great branding and awareness play as a creator to showcase what you're doing, get a broader audience, help bring them over to your monetization platforms, whether that be Twitch or YouTube. You know, the live stream element is fantastic. Again, regardless of the platform, you bring up a great point in terms of FOMO. You want to experience it live. You want to be there in the moment. It's an amazing opportunity to be there and live with your creators and experience that. And then on the back end of that, you want to think about how can I continue that conversation? This is where VOD comes in and it's really important. You might have a fantastic 2-hour stream and you might be streaming 50 hours a week, but you're creating amazing amounts of content. There should absolutely be content distribution plans across TikTok, across YouTube, across other platforms to keep that content living. Make all that content that you're work longer and harder and monetize it better. Really becoming master of all of these platforms is only going to help grow and build your creator brand. And then in addition, as if you're an advertiser or a brand, you should absolutely consider every single one of these touch points as well. If you're doing a sponsored stream, there of course should be pre-stream tweets about this. Hey, I'm going live with my AT&T live stream where we're going to be playing and going over the best, whatever that may be. Leverage Twitter to pre-up, leverage your in-stream, leverage YouTube on the back end with your VODs. So now you're touching all of these various platforms. Now you're thinking much more holistically about your activations. It's not just going to live for that 1 hour or 2 hours in a live stream. It's going to have legs and live much longer. And that's an important piece to consider because you want to think about how can I extend the life of the content that I'm paying for, creating or sponsoring.
I think Lewis hit some amazing points there, and I don't disagree with a single one of them. What I wanted to actually do was expand upon a couple of those with some anecdotes that I've seen. I consider it adjacent to the Gary Vee model, right? If you're streaming, if you're creating any content anywhere, the plan should be to repurpose that content, re-edit it for as many downstream opportunities as possible, as well as selling those downstream impressions, right? Maybe you have a sponsor that's interested in sponsoring your stream, but do they know that you're also putting that on TikTok or on YouTube or somewhere else where you're getting X million more, views and impressions that could be a separate deal altogether, or that you could sell to a separate sponsor altogether. In a project that we did recently with Twitch, everyone says being authentic and genuine as this very important kind of topic, and super important to them was not only having authentic partners and people that we were friends with that were part of that show and that program. When you have these partners that are your friends, when you're doing a project and you're co-streaming with another streamer or you're working with a brand that you really like, that's when the tweets and the other promo on your other marketing networks and channels really have their most value, because you're not just tweeting because you're contractually required to, which you then see a lot of people deleting after the event. You're tweeting because you love being a part of that project, you're hyped, you're sharing it with your audience, and then you're leaving it up for however long. And those are the more meaningful, I think, promos too, or are the ones that, you genuinely do care about, that speak to your brand.
I was just going to add one other thing, Jimmy. You bring up a really good point about the brands getting involved. I think a great example of this goes back to McDonald's and FaZe Clan when they ran a very big promo about who's the next part of FaZe Clan. And McDonald's actually changed their hashtag to FaZe McDonald's. There's great ways for the brands to also support your activations by retweeting, reposting, commenting, sharing, because again, there's going to be, millions more followers of AT&T than one of your streamers. But if you can somehow collaborate and figure out a way to leverage the AT&T's social followings to help promote it and advocate for it, or bring together other elements where you're cross-pollinating, another key things. And Jimmy, that was a great point, because the broader distribution you're getting, the better experience for everybody involved. This hasn't come up yet, but I also want to just call out Reddit, because that's another community we're seeing a tremendous amount of sharing and comments and going back and forth on. Not only would I suggest Twitter, but I would also suggest Reddit, because that really has become a huge community element as well. So just something else to think about that